Donald Trump and I have been friends for 38 years.
Really?
I met him when I first came to New York in 1979 to organize Ronald Reagan's campaign for president in the Empire State. Now, New York State in 1980 was pretty hostile territory for Reagan. The money people, the Wall Street people, the Republican establishment were all supporting George Bush. Donald Trump and his father, Fred Trump, were two of the original members of our finance committee. And Trump was instrumental in not only raising money for Reagan, but securing us office space for our headquarters, interceding with the phone company to get our phones installed without a 6-month wait. He lent us his plane to fly our nominating petitions to Albany, where we filed them within seconds of the deadline. Reagan wouldn't even been on the ballot in New York State if it weren't for Donald Trump. I have worked on and off for him since 1980. I worked for him as a lobbyist in Washington, D.C. I worked for him in 2000. I was the chairman of a presidential exploratory committee when I urged him to contend for the nomination against Bush and Gore for the presidency. I went back to work for him again in 2012. I wanted him to run 3 years ago. I still think he would have been a stronger candidate than Mitt Romney. I was deeply involved in the planning for this campaign. I resigned, and I think in the end on good terms, because in all honesty, I'm a political strategist, and that's what I do. But Donald Trump is his own strategist. He is his own advisor. He is his own message maven. He is his own logistician. He is his own speechwriter. He is his own press secretary. And John, it's his money. It's his name. It's his right to do it his way.
It's his baby.
And he has done it his way. It's very hard to argue with where he is today. He's the runner in this race, having done it his way. So I remain his biggest cheerleader. I will be on with Megyn Kelly tonight. I was scheduled to be on with Anderson Cooper last night, canceled at the last minute because of pressure by the Clintons. But I will continue to speak out for Trump, and I'm happy to tell you why. Nobody owns Donald Trump. Not the lobbyists, not the special interests, not the billionaires, and not the Washington Wall Street combine. Trump is his own man. He marches to his own drummer. You can't bully him. You can't influence him. You can't buy him. He would be the first president in my memory to really work for the American people and no particular special interest, particularly Wall Street. So he is that anomaly, a billionaire who is not an elitist, a billionaire who made his money in real estate, not Wall Street, not the market, who is not beholden to Wall Street. And that's what attracts me. So I'm still optimistic about his candidacy. We talk from time to time. We're on excellent terms. I have great affection for him. He is going to win the New Hampshire primary. And I think that will set him on the road to contend against Hillary Clinton this fall.
Do you have some problems with Cruz? I'm afraid I do.
I have huge problems with Cruz. I have to be honest. I was initially very much attracted to his message.
Me too.
I liked it. And then I did a little more investigation. Here's the problems I have. Ted Cruz was George W. Bush's chief issue advisor and is a veteran of the Bush administration. Ted Cruz is the man who recruited John Roberts to the Bush administration. So Cruz got us Roberts, and Roberts ultimately, as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, got us Obamacare. Ted Cruz got $2 million sweetheart, low-interest, secret loans from Wall Street, one from Goldman Sachs, the other one from Citicorp, to finance his Senate campaign. And in violation of the law, he never reported those loans until a year later when he was in the U.S. Senate, and he included him on his financial disclosure.
And his wife works there, yes?
It's much worse than that. His wife is a partner at Goldman Sachs. But prior to that, John, she was a deputy to Condoleezza Rice at the National Security Council. At the time, we rushed into the war in Iraq. And then she was a deputy U.S. trade representative working specifically on our current Chinese trade policy. Ted is, and she's a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, as well as being a partner at Goldman Sachs. So I came to the conclusion that Ted Cruz, who I now call Tricky Ted, is an insider posing as an outsider. How do you bring reform to Wall Street when your campaign is secretly financed by Wall Street? Ted is a Harvard and a Princeton graduate, and as much as he tries to sound like a radical conservative and an outsider, he's a Bush Republican. He is a Trojan horse. And then this stunt that he pulled on Ben Carson, who's a very nice guy, a very decent man, is going to make a great Surgeon General in the Bush administration, in the Trump administration. But the dirty tricks at the last minute in Iowa, without any question, had the potential to shift 3 votes per precinct from Carson to Cruz, and that is what cost Donald Trump a first-place finish. A Nixonian-style dirty trick. That's why I call him Tricky Ted.